Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 5. Now we're into Excel quite a bit. We finished up our discussion, our work in Word, and we're both happy with the kind of stuff that we've been seeing. So nicely done there. We're going to be finishing up grading that kind of stuff. It's Wednesday, so you should have all your stuff for the past week graded tomorrow. We're into Excel now, and this is of the three. I've mentioned this before, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Excel tends to be the toughest one for students. This is the one that students usually use the least. And it seems pretty daunting. It can seem a little intimidating when you first get into Excel, but take your time and you will learn. Remember, everyone starts at a different level. The goal is to get you all to move up, right? The other thing is, don't forget those lecture notes. It's an easy link to miss when you get into the week 5 folder, but those lecture notes are going to be absolutely essential for you as you start doing any kind of work in Excel. I know some students will just jump right in thinking, well, I don't really need those lecture notes. I can kind of learn on the fly. That may work sometimes, but it may not work. And I think when we get into something complex like Excel, that's one of those times where I don't think it's going to work very well for you. It's not going to end well if you don't use some of those lecture notes or look through the lecture notes. So they're there for your benefit. There's a lot of people who have gone over those quite a bit, really kind of honed them down, specified them so that they will be beneficial to you. The other thing, the other asset you have, I don't have my book with me, I was going to show you the book, is in the textbook itself. You do have an entire chapter on Excel. It's a huge chapter too. We don't assign tons and tons of reading in these chapters. You use the book largely for the self-guided assignments. And you're going to be doing some of those, especially in the pause and practice folder this week. But if you have questions about Excel, I would encourage you to actually go to the book as well and look through it. Again, we don't require that you read the entire chapter or anything like that, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't look through it. You definitely should. I mean, it is your book. You paid for it. You want to take advantage of it, and it's a really helpful book too. So take a look there as well. Now, when it comes to Excel, I think there's a couple things to just remember about this. It can be challenging. It can be difficult, but it's doable. There are actually some little tutorials you can go through in Excel. That's the one thing I wanted to really mention. So if you are a little concerned about doing certain things, check and see in Excel itself if you could find a tutorial. So when you open up Excel on your desktop, the desktop version, you have an option to go right into an empty spreadsheet, right, a blank spreadsheet. But you also should have an option for a tutorial there, and you should be able to look through there. And so if you have a specific question about something, like, gee, I'm not really totally sure about developing this chart or this graph. I know I'm supposed to end up with a pie chart, but I'd like to see if maybe somebody could walk me through it. Take a look in Excel itself, and you might find the help you need. Now, speaking of help, I did speak to a couple students yesterday on the phone who had questions about Excel. That's great. If it's easier to basically have me reach out to you via phone or something, let me know. I know that Renee and I both have we have office hours online where you can use Skype and get in contact with us. I know that most students really rarely take advantage of that. And I think part of the reason is some students may be intimidated by Skype. They may have never used it before, or they're not really sure how it's going to work. And I understand that. That's understandable. So when it's my office hours day, I kind of think, look, if it's easier, it's my office hours day, I can give you a call, just give me your phone number or something like that. I'm happy to do that. And frankly, it doesn't have to just be on Tuesdays, which is my day. Just let us know if there's another way maybe that we can reach out to you. And again, sometimes maybe email is the best way. I don't know. But if you have questions, let us know. Please ask those kinds of questions. And we're kind of expecting a number of questions when it comes to Excel. Something else to keep in mind. We are in week 5. We're halfway through week 5, which means we're really close to the end of this semester. It goes by very, very quickly. I wanted to say something. Renee and I have been talking about this, about late assignments. I know a lot of students have really just they fall behind because there's family circumstances or health issues, or just you feel overloaded with tons of work because of all your different classes, your online classes. So what do we do about late work? Well, we'll put it this way. We'll still accept late work. Now, you'll be assessed a penalty. Remember, in the tracking or in the supplemental syllabus, there was a penalty. Day 1, 1 day late is going to be 5 points off. 2 days, 10 points, 3 days, 15 points, and then anything after that we wouldn't accept. We recognize, though, that that's not always easy, all right? That can be a bit severe, perhaps. We want to hold to that standard, though, of late points assessed, with the one caveat that we will take any kind of late work. So anything is better than nothing. If there's a 0 there, and you're really worried about your grade, and you're thinking, gosh, what can I do about this? Get the work in. If you get deducted points from that, that's still better than getting a 0. And so those of you who are kind of on that bubble, or you might be holding a failing grade, still get that work in. One way or another, get that work in, even if it's late, and we will look at it, and we will grade it. Sure, we can put a penalty, we'll put a penalty on it, but again, that's really not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. So when it comes to late work, keep that in mind. Now, there is that cutoff. We're in week 5, halfway through week 5. Week 7, when we get to the end of that, there's that tiny little half week afterwards. But right around that, when that switch goes from 7 to 7.5, we just are not able to take late work. So we'll talk about that again as we get closer, but just know that there is going to be basically a kind of a drop dead date that's going to be coming where we won't be able to accept late work. But for right now, especially those of you who are behind, or you're concerned that you've fallen behind too much or something, rest assured that we will take a look at any kind of late work, even if a penalty has to be assessed. That's, again, better than getting a 0 on the assignment. So again, let us know, let Renee know if you have any questions about Excel or anything else. Reach out to us. Let me know if it's easier for me to maybe give you a call sometime to walk you through something. I'd be happy to do that. And get into those discussion boards as quickly as you can, and we will talk there. Thanks, folks.